Welcome back to the Bracers Guild podcast. After so long, we are back. We are so back. We go through each Trails game chapter by chapter. And on the second game, I believe, still after all this time, on chapter 3.
Whoa.
Technically
I can't even count that high.
Technically fourth chapter if you include a prologue. We only got I think this game goes up to 10 chapters or something. Only 10. So,
everything there's so much per chapter.
I mean, there used to be
each
not.
chapter, I feel like 2 of the last chapters.
This one was just longer than the other ones. But it's also been 6 months since I've last played this. So so take it easy on us. So we don't know it freshly, only retrospectively. Yeah. But I took the notes recently, so they're a little bit in my mind.
Yeah, I have a whiteboard full of things that I wrote down from when I went over the game. I technically have the most fresh mind, but I'm also in university, so mine's kind of rotten at the moment. So we'll see how much of it actually stuck.
Oh yeah, and also I have a job now, so that's why this took so long. I free time, so we'll try to get this out more regularly. But
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, you wanna start it again?
Airship comes down, generals come out. Generals talk to the colonel in the fortress where all the shenanigans happened last game. And they're like, wait, did you know we've got the super advanced orbital engine is coming into the RCL? And the generals are like, yeah, that's why we're here. And he's like, cool, this way. And that's basically the whole brunt of that conversation. They leave stage left to the courtyard. In the courtyard, a beautiful scene is unfolding. Lieutenant Schwartz pushing her hair to the side, standing firmly against Cassius, her opponent. Rapier in hand, she readies. And camera pulls out. The two start bashing each other's skull in liberally even.
As much
soldiers
as sprites
watching
can
from
do.
every angle. As much as sprites can do. To be fair, pretty epic fight for a bunch of sprites. There's whooshing and actual speed line effects to try and demonstrate how fast Schwartz is going, which is funny because she's moving at the exact same fucking speed as Cassius. She just has movement lines.
I forget. Is Cassius just standing still or something like that? I can't remember.
Cassius stands still for a good portion of it, but whenever he does move, he moves at the exact same speed as Schwartz, just without the movement lines. So I don't know if she's doing some ninjutsu shit where she's vibrating in place in 2 different spots at once or something, but it's very silly. And the whole thing is she starts the fight with just some tippy-toeing, some smacking, some smocking, and then he's like, stop being an idiot. Schwartz, actually start using the whole reason that you're good at fighting. And she's like, oh yeah, whoops, silly me. And then she fucking starts doing shadow clone jutsu or whatever. Appears in 40 places at once while trying to move forward in a single silhouette. And then all of a sudden she's like Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. She's zipping in, she's zipping out, she's doing the spins. She jumps in the air and they smash against each other. You hear the shing. People in the crowd are fainting over this. And then Cassius, I think he literally sidesteps one of her attacks after she does this weird jump around thing and not actually hitting him. And then he just hits her once and then she's done.
Why can Julia be this strong when we have her? Fuck, man.
Right?
Why couldn't
this
we have a Naruto character on our team?
She got hit once, motherfucker. Cassius poked the bitch. She was down. So, yeah. Then she's on the ground. Blood is splurting from her mouth. She does the anime cough thing where her back arches and bleh, all the blood everywhere. And he's standing over her. And she's like, I'm a weak bitch. And he's like, nah, you're actually kind of cool. I'm just a badass. And then he puts on shades. The general comes over and he's like, hey, this guy is kind of a badass. And Cassius is like, that's right, I'm a badass. And Schwartz is like, yeah, I guess I shouldn't really compare myself to him. And then the general's like, look, the engineer. And then the engineer enters from stage right, I guess, because he went left last time. I guess it would be left again. He'd come back on, right? Anyway. Semantics aside, he comes in with the colonel, and he's like, oh, the engineers are here to test a new orbital engine and to put it in the RCL. And Schwartz is like, I should probably escort them. And the general's like, yeah, do your job. And she's like, aye, aye, Captain. So they bugger off. And then it's the colonel, the general, and Cassius. They're all just like, ho, ho, ho. Remember back in my day where I'd beat the fuck out of you, Cassius? And Cassius is like, ha, I do. Ow. But I can still give you a run for your money. He's like, oh, is that right? You want to fight me, Cassius? And
you want a
Cassius
Scooby snack?
Robo Cassius.
Zoinks, General Morgan.
Like, we gotta test the RCL.
We gotta start Ouroboros. Oh,
we gotta start the Dark Gang. So they're talking about how they would beat each other up, and then they're like, I don't even remember what they say, but the fucking screen fades to black, so I'm gonna consider that the end of this segment. We go finally over to the engineering thing, and it's like, wow, what a beauty engine. That's awesome. And then that's it. And it's like, this is the whole thing. So the whole thing, too long didn't listen, in which case, fuck you. Listen to me. We saw engineers arrive. Schwartz got the shit kicked out of her. A bunch of old men laughed about how much they could beat each other up. And then we found the engine. And then they explained the non-aggression pact thing.
Oh, what? Wait, wasn't Kanone also there at the end?
I think so, yeah. So then you zoom out from the fortress, Leiston Fortress, that's what it's called. You zoom out from the fortress, and in the fucking woods is this pink-haired devil with the binoculars, and she's like, I see they've increased security. I'll have to change some things. And then she just kind of goes, mwahaha, and then it fades to black again.
Mwahaha, I'll achieve Richard's dream.
Yeah, I'll achieve Richard's dream, a simp to the end.
She literally just becomes a team of Team Rocket.
Oh, absolutely. She's even pink-haired and everything. She just needs James.
I mean, Richard is her James.
Yeah, but Richard is too chill for James later. But we'll get to that in a bit. I actually don't know.
He was not very chill.
That, but I don't have it. Dude, they marched. Okay, this might be spoilers, and you might have to cut it. But like, they marched him in. It was like, "Hey, lady, stop being a genocidal maniac." And she's like, "Oh, okay." He was just like, "Stop my goal. It was a dumb goal. Let's stop doing this."
Just stop.
It's the most anticlimactic thing ever. The developers are just like, we have to stop the action. We have to resolve this somehow. They march Richard in on like a fucking steel gurney. And he's like, stop doing the thing, please. And she's like, yeah, okay, I guess. And then cries and says, wah.
Literally, she
like
says,
old
wah.
Waluigi stands out there. It's just wah.
I cannot take her
after
seriously.
That happens. No, she's awful. Ever since we literally beat the shit out of her so hard and her sprite was still on the floor in the basement of the castle, I'm like, oh, she's that kind of villain. So yeah, that happens. And then you finally get to be part of the party. I think you get to... Is this where they introduced the party changing mechanics? That was last one. Yeah, never mind. Last one you got to choose like the...
I think that was a few...
Like swapping out party or whatever. Yeah. Well, you get to do it again. Surprise. Who did you choose, Mr. Brandon, sir?
I cannot remember. Maybe like once we get off the thing, I think I'll remember it.
Mm-hmm. I took Tita and Charizard, I believe. I think you had to take Zen, so I'm not sure.
Mean, no, you always have to take either Cher or Agate.
Charizard, yeah. I know I had Tita in there somewhere, so that's all I remember. And then it's basically like, hey, everything's fixed here. We should go to Grancel. And so you're like, okay. And then you go off onto the ship. And literally nothing happens during that time. This is just the get to chapter 3 section of the story. So you walk over to the ship. You get on the ship. I skipped over all the conversations that happen here because none of them are interesting. Except for the one with Zen, which I think is neat. I
got like a general... I can start taking over now from here.
Aye, aye, Captain. You do that, because my throat is going to kill me if I keep speaking at this volume.
That's your choice, man. So the first convo we have is both with Agate and Tita, and Tita is missing her parents and then wants to travel with them, but apparently they are establishing like orbital technology in other places that don't have them yet, and they've been doing this for like 2 years now. So that's interesting because like that's like fun enough, like the one of the like major advantages that liberal has, and like eventually they're like this whole game is kind of like signaling like liberal like sharing their orbital technology with their neighbors. It feels like there's like a greater theme with that.
It does also sound, however, like the basic ass like super rich family traveling to Africa to give them water or whatever, like just arbitrary generosity, for the sake of like some sort of we need to explain why they're gone kind of a deal. I feel like that's a stereotype in a couple movies at least, like the Mean Girls movie. They remind me of the one lady's parents. That's why I bring up specifically Africa, no other reason. You know what I'm talking about?
Like I know, not like that trope. I've never watched Mean Girls.
What?
I haven't watched.
I have a movie over you.
Also, apparently, Tita's mom was a tomboy with a powerful personality, and she and her dad would fight a lot. The Russell the inventor, I think. And I just find that cute. Also, I wrote this note: Tita's dad was submissible and breedable.
What?
I don't remember this. I wrote this in like November. Also, he was a bracer.
Brandon was in a fucking mood.
Also, he was a bracer 10 years ago, but due to an injury, he stopped. So that's neat. Mm-hmm. And that's all they really have to say. And then you go on the deck. You go talk to Olivier and Chloe. They're hanging out. Olivier's playing his lute, and Chloe came out to see it. And Stella's like, if this guy tries anything, you got a sword. Just stab him. Please, God, just stab him.
Just for me, just a little stab.
Olivier says he could give Chloe a private concert, and then Sieg then proceeds to just peck him over and over again.
Good job, Sieg.
And then Olivier's next bright idea is thinking about making a move on Julia, but then both the women just scoff at him. And I think I remember them like, I think Chloe mentioned something about Julia being at a party and like a bunch of drunk men coming at her, and like I think she like pushed them off and just like removed their clothes or something to akin to that.
Uh-huh.
I just thought that was really funny. As you always
do with people who hit on you, and when you don't want it, you remove their clothing and parade it around. I think that sounds about right. I know when I get unwanted female attention, I pull out my rapier.
I pull out my katana.
And then I yell at the top of my lungs, I've got the power of God and anime on my side, and then proceed to strip them with my sword.
But you don't see,
I have only been
the blade strike as you sheath it.
Shunk.
Only thrice.
Only thrice. You have to like thrice. Yeah, and then we got is it Zin?
Yeah, and and like the only like only thing left in this thing is Zin drops his backstory on us.
Yeah, he's like, yo, listen up. I came from a dojo, with a dojo master, who fought my friend, who I forgot his name was Walter, which is pretty sick, And Walter, fought the dojo master, but the dojo master was the one who started it, yo.
You're too light, stop.
No, yo. So after Walter fights the dojo master, Walter kills him. They call him the Fist, which is apparently like what the dojo calls people who use like
the dark ways.
The dark ways, which is just literally using the normal martial arts to kill people. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Apparently Walter was drunk
I want to be stronger.
Walter was drunk with power, and then the master wanted to steer him clear of his ways. So they, I don't know who initiated the duel, but like obviously
it was the master.
It was the master. Yeah, the master like said a duel was like we'll do this duel, and to see who. I don't know if it like in like the intention
the duel
was to
by
kill.
definition. The duel by definition requires a murder. That's why Zin was like, I don't feel bad that the master's dead. The master knew what he was doing. Like, one of them had to die. It was either him or it was Walter. Walter won. So it's just kind of fair. Which I think is crazy, because this is the same guy that was like, I'm going to kill a child to prove my power. So it's like, okay.
I wrote down a note. Zin observes this fight in the cuck chair.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the cuck chair, they elaborate on the whole Walta, like in the... I completely forgot her name, and I feel so bad. The only way I remember her is as the foreign beauty. Fucking...
Kilika.
Dude, man, whatever his name is. It's a Kilika? What?
Kilika, it's Kilika.
Kilika. Right. So, like, he's in love with Kilika. And Kilika is the dojo master's daughter. And it's like, I'm pretty sure this was revealed very briefly in the last chapter, because I remember us talking about this, so I don't want to go too in-depth on it, but that's kind of the general overview.
we assumed that Walter was Kilika's girlfriend, but not like...
Walter was Kilika's girlfriend?
Yeah, like, they haven't, like, specified it, but, like, they implied it, like, last chapter.
Yeah, they implied that Walter, the guy, was Kilika's girlfriend, yeah. We know who wore the pants in that relationship, that's for sure. It wasn't Walter. He wore the skirt.
And the only thing left to note is Zin doesn't want revenge on Walter. He just wants to confirm something, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's it.
To the Bracers Guild!
Estelle. Well, no, then Estelle's like, hey, can you tell me about Kilika? He's like, no, it's private. She's like, okay. And then you can keep on asking, and he just gets annoyed. No, to the Bracers Guild!
To the Bracers Guild! There's been unrest.
Bracers Guild!
There's been unrest in Grancel due to the non-aggression pact signing, which we've heard about in passing a lot. Like, nothing like too major. It's been so long, I forget if it's like been mentioned in the plot already. Probably has.
I think they mention it like every fucking chapter, but it's always like, oh, the Queen is going to do a non-aggression pact. It's with an engine. And then that's as far as it goes. Like, it was mentioned in Volume 1 of the Liberal News. And then the second chapter, like, they mentioned it 3 separate times.
No, it's when you first meet the administrators or the embassy leaders is when the first... No, so it has been mentioned.
I'm going to say this a couple times too. This is a stupid plan and the Queen should feel bad, and I have no idea why there's so many yes men in this country, but whatever.
I understand like the sentiment that the Queen's going for.
I'll go into more detail though when we start talking about like how the Calvard Republic and the Arbonian Embassy respond to it, because it's mind-numbingly stupid when you hear their actual opinions on it. But yeah. What else happens? They're also like, hey, actually, it's been pretty chill in Grancel. There's not been that much going on, but
but the society's most likely
being dealt with.
Yeah, it's like the society's most likely gonna like strike at where the pact is gonna be signed, which is gonna be at the Royal Villa the next week. Mm-hmm. And then it's like Elaine, the fucking receptionist. I guess they're receptionists, but also like part. I guess, yeah, receptionists is the best way. I don't know if
Okay,
they can fight
cool.
or not.
Can't believe you're so derogatory and reductionist to call them receptionists, but okay.
I feel like they could do more, but their goal is receptionist. Elaine
I'll be
gets
perfectly honest, I forgot who Elaine is.
it's the dude with the blonde hair and the ponytail.
Oh yeah, he's a receptionist. That's not even a question. He just talks a lot.
Yeah, it's. But also, like, he also essentially runs this branch, so like I don't.
Well, all of the receptionists did.
Yeah, so it's like,
They're
are they
like- I
really
think, like-
receptionists, or are they just like the branch owners of this, and
I
they
think their
run the
official
till?
title is the Guild Cuck. I think because they just watch the adventures. They never go on any of them.
Well, they got
So-
they got to do organization stuff. They got to pin the vaults. They got to take all the requests so the bracers can do them. So they have their jobs. You can't judge them, Alex.
Oh, I can. I will even. The question is whether they can do anything about it. And unfortunately, Brandon, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but they're not real. And I can do whatever the fuck I want with their virtual avatars. So, suck it.
Elaine gets a call that a child has gone missing at the villa, and
Yep.
we're tasked to go over to find them because we don't have anything else better to do, I guess.
Literally, they're like, you don't have much to do. So,
once we apparently when we get there, the child is playing hide and seek, and we have to find them. So you go around and find them, but before that, I forgot the Duke is here. He's under house
He is.
arrest,
He is.
and he fucking sucks.
I love him.
The
But
only
he says
thing
something that's interesting here that's really useful. So you can, after you're done your thing, I want to mention it.
yeah, like the only thing that I got out from that conversation, because it's like, fuck this guy, is he questions Chloe about nobility with being at the orphanage with the common folk. Ooh.
Yeah.
You have to imagine him saying is that.
It's either that or like every other thing is a boo because the pig sound. Japan. Is that the only thing you wrote down?
Yeah,
for him?
that's the only thing I wrote down. I fucking hate this guy.
Okay. He said something that was amusing that I thought was kind of neat. So I want to query it back to you with a less condescending tone. Not condescending because it's me, Brandon. Come on, chill. But less condescending. He mentioned this notion that I think is kind of amusing, where the reason that Claudia shouldn't be considered queen, or shouldn't even be considered as somebody who could be queen, is because she neglects royal duties in an attempt to be more like the common people. And more specifically, he believes that it's important for leadership to rule over the common folk and not as one of the common folk. And I think on a base level, everybody will have like especially because we are common folk. Let's not
Yeah.
kid ourselves. But put yourself in the shoes of a leader. Would you want a leader to think as one of us, or would you want a leader to kind of think as one that transcends like our individual personal wants and desires, to talk more about like the general purpose of the group, right? Like what you could think of ruling over somebody as I'm in charge of you and you do what I say, but you could also think of ruling over somebody as having a bird's eye view on the situation involving everybody from a different stance, right? So I'm kind of curious, do you think Claudia would make a bad leader by constantly pursuing relations and kind of view sets and interpretations of her country purely from the perspective of the common folk instead of as a royal individual such as herself?
One thing you gotta know about me, I fucking hate fucking I really do not give a shit about heads of governments and the proper way to do things. Also, this is the Duke we're talking about. He's using this as fucking excuse. But I'd say like if you don't know what the people want, you're going to be a bad ruler. And if you don't understand people, you're gonna have a rough time with running government. Does it mean like you're gonna have a rough time no matter what? No matter what method you go with, if you're going with the common man approach or like the bigger guy in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
okay, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, it's like you need someone with like someone who will make like strong decisions.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. You use strong, not the right decision, just the strong decision.
There is no right decision.
I like that.
In all situations, there is no like right decision because everybody, no matter what, will not think it's the right decision. So it's just whatever your personal belief is in it. And Chloe kind of doesn't have that yet. She's like developing like that. She's like questioning stuff. So she doesn't like in a sense, because like even Chloe says like, maybe he's like right like a little bit, in like the sense of like, I don't have like the thing yet. I don't have like that like main drive or like that song strength of like going with the decision, because she's very like flaky on stuff, but that makes sense for a teenager in with all this responsibility.
All right, I like that answer. It's more nuanced. I enjoy that. I was actually curious because like the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, from the perspective of somebody who tries to do some like more smaller kind of decision stuff. I've never ruled a country, nor do I ever plan on ruling a country. Fuck that noise.
Yeah.
It's like imagining, I brought this up a couple times, but decisions based upon a strata of population or on like an agreed upon decision only really work when the people who are making the decision are all highly competent. Note, that doesn't imply educated, just competent in making that decision. So I've always had the opinion of like, if you're making a decision, it should be as much a singular decision as with context supplied for that decision, rather than trying to just observe what people want and just trying to be a people pleaser and just appeal to them, right? Which is, not going to make too many comments, but that's a striking thing to modern day. Anyway, so from my perspective, I actually do think Claudia would be probably a terrible leader. And he kind of almost does bring up that decent point of, Claudia in her current state is an abysmal ruler. Like if the queen croaks one day and Claudia gets put into power, especially in the current situation that they have, where she's trying to like...
I mean, I feel like if that happens, I feel like she would change pretty rapidly, because like then she's like forced into like the role instead, because right now she has freedom from the role. So like in a sense she would have time to do it, and like she's already like had like a bit like I feel like she'd be decent. But I feel like the whole curious. I feel like the whole process of like being like groomed for the role is not like any better than just like someone with like a strong sense of their own justice or like morality.
So you don't think like an individual who's trained to be a leader is inherently better off than somebody who's just naturally capable of doing it due to their own prerogative, just having that natural sense of authority, I guess, around based off of whatever life situation is
100%.
Oh, okay, that's neat.
Those are two different type of people. It's one is like it's basically goes back to like one being born for the role and one being like, it's almost like the like classic like or like the classic like fantasy like disgraced son being thrown out from the kingdom and then coming back to take the throne, kind of that thing. And when like the either like some like rival character is being brought up to be the next ruler. kind of like thing. But like what people need is like the common person almost.
Yeah, I am almost curious though. Like, imagine he was put into power. Do you think it would actually go to shit, or do you think it would function as a society?
Well, it depends on how much like authority the royalty actually has in the decision making.
Yeah, I mean, they put it. We've had lots of discussions
Because
about
we
the
have
plague,
like
but
we have the military and
yeah,
like
Liberal is
they
a
have,
military
like,
industrial complex. It is ruled by the military and the royal.
yeah, and like
army is ruled by
I
the
think the
royalty,
queen has
so.
a lot. I think the queen has like most of the power because of the coup situation with Richard. So like
It's very
it
consolidated.
doesn't seem like there's any really level of like layers in this government. It just seems like the person at the top makes the decision. So if the Duke was there, unless he had like Philip as the advisor telling him actually good shit, it would basically almost be like Philip proxying the kingdom, I feel like, in that situation. But with the Duke,
I feel like Philip would
making-
almost be like a diplomat with the way that it would be set up. Because Philip is like the weakest son of a bitch ever, right? Mm-hmm. He's basically the surrogate father to the Duke, and every single time you see him, he's like, oh dear. You know what I mean? He never
Especially
stands
this
up for
chapter.
himself. This chapter, one of his big arcs or whatever is Estelle telling him, like, you should stand up for yourself. He's like, you know what, you're right. You know? So, I can't help but be curious if he did get into power, would he actually make the kingdom a hellscape, or would he just be one of those people who's like...
It'd be probably a slow decline type situation.
I think it would be worse off than it started, but I think he wouldn't like collapse the kingdom all in one rule.
He wouldn't
I feel
collapse
like
it, but
in a
it wouldn't be
stressful
great.
situation, I think like in a stressful situation, like Urbonia declares war, for example, I think he'd be a better initial fit than Claudia. You know what I mean? Like if something drastic happened and the queen died, I feel like he'd be the
I feel
immediate
like
person
Claudia,
that I'd
though,
want.
is kind of a fighter in a sense. The Duke's not a fighter. The Duke will lay over at any point. He's kind of like because he rolled over for Richard and like the whole coup thing. So he'll
but
probably
every time
roll
he
over.
thinks he has an upper hand, he ends up being like overt. You know what I mean? Like when he thinks he's on top, he thinks he's on top, and when he thinks he's on bottom, he grovels. So I feel like it would be one of those situations where he'd be willing to put up a fight until it doesn't look good for him anymore, and he doesn't think there's a way back, and then he just rolls over. Know what I mean?
And Claudia would probably fight tooth and nail for the kingdom.
Yeah. And it's like, which one would destroy the kingdom? Right? So, but anyway, I thought that was an interesting conversation. I'm not saying I'm a Duke lover by any means. I
understand what
Claudia.
you're going for. You're going like devil's advocate.
Yeah, like just say for the sake of argument, you know. But that whole thing, all that happened in our heads. He said none of that. He was basically just like
He's basically just being a dick, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then we go try to actually find what we're going here for and finding the child.
The child, by the way, is right fucking next to the person who asked us to find the child.
Well, I mean, first he was in like the the beginning area. Then when he goes back to the bar, because it's the same dude that Niall has a connection with, the bar dude that got kidnapped last game. So like he goes back to his bar, and then it's like, oh, did you find her? And it's like, on my first playthrough, I didn't find her. I didn't know where the fuck she was. And then it's like, oh, tee-hee, I'm behind the bar. And it's like, bro, fucking how did you not notice? Did like the door... I guess it must have been like a... But usually like a bar like that's not... it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just incompetence, I guess. Maybe she's magic or some bullshit, and she's just like, woobly woobly, shadows, and then you can see her. I don't know.
But the person that we're talking about is a purple-haired girl that we saw a while ago named Renne. Woohoo,
The
Renne's
definitely
back.
evil child. Yep, I remember her.
Yeah, the
I
princess.
called it. I still think she's a necromancer or some shit, man. I mean, I guess I know better now, but
I don't think she's not a necromancer.
She's as close as you can get. I'm not gonna say why, but she's as close as you can fucking get.
I guess.
Yeah. Either way, she's like, "Whoa, you found me." What wait, was it? Tee-hee-hee.
Something like that. She laughs a lot.
She laughs a lot. And then it's like, "My parents are gone, Tee-hee. I can't find them anymore. They're really good at hide and seek." And Estelle's like, "Oh, that's not good."
And then her dad,
her
her dad gave her a encrypted message that they had to go somewhere. So you have to stay behind, play hide and seek or something.
Yeah.
So now we gotta find the parents, the ultimate game of hide and seek.
And
she also travels with us
just
now.
been a bunch of hide and seek. That it's liberal is just hide and seek inside of hide and seek. We're actually going to complete the game, and it'll be two children playing hide and seek, and that's the story of liberal.
I mean, it feels like it most times where it's like you go to the Bracers Guild, investigate this. Okay, we're seeking for the information, and they reveal themselves by unhiding. So it's just this game is just one big hide and seek thing.
It is, yeah. But yeah, on your way out, I think you meet up with Philip. And he's like,
Philip, poor guy.
I had to get him some snacks because he's in house arrest. And you just chill out with the dude. And then the child is racist. She's like, "Why is his eyes closed?" It's like, you can't say that.
He's old. Come on. Also, apparently, Renne can sense a power level off this man. Somehow. I don't know what she sees in him.
Dude, Philip's gonna like take off his shirt and he's gonna have like rippling abs at like fucking Master Yoshi levels of bullshit. Let me show you how a real bracer does it. He like whips out a stick and grows a monkey tail. Like and then I think we head off to Grancel.
We back
bring
at the
evil
guild.
child directly into the guild because we're fucking idiots. And then Blondie talks for like 40 minutes.
We go back to the guild, and Sid is here. So we send the children upstairs to let the grown-ups talk.
Yeah.
He wants us to investigate a bunch of threatened letters that promise a great disaster to the people involved in the pack sighting. It was also sent to like a bunch of other people that weren't related.
Yeah, it's like people churches,
at the liberal news,
some fortresses, the news, the castle, like
the airship. Like there's like 9 in total or something like that. And apparently the army can't investigate this because you know the incident, which I feel like you only had one division that could like investigate the stuff. You have like nothing else.
They have you now.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I guess, the Bracers always kind of acted like they're informants in a weird way, so why not go for it?
It's so funny. We went from like the Bracers Guild is a multinational organization that has no connections to any individual government and acts independently from the requirements of the governments of whatever the fuck in the region to, oh yeah, we're just the military now. For liberal.
Listen, we help everybody equally. It's just the government just really needs our help right now.
Yeah. We just help liberal a little bit more,
So now we got 2 goals. We got to search for Renne's parents and figure out who sent the letters. 2
definitely unrelated.
2 unrelated things, yes. Okay, so you can do this in like any order. So I'll go in like my order that the Let's Play that I was following. So we first go to the Calvard embassy leader. And I'm going to be real, they don't say much of worth, except that Calvard doesn't like the Empire, and the Empire would be stupid to call off this pact to get the orbital engines out of it.
They do say one thing, though, and this is what I was waiting on, because I want to interrupt here, specifically with Calvard. So, history lesson. Far back when the war happened against Turbonia, Calvard was actually Liberal's closest alliance at the time. And Calvard doesn't like Urbonia. The reason Liberal was struggling so badly was Calvard just didn't send any military forces whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So they're like, yeah, we joined the war, but we're not actually going to really do anything. And it turns out that the way that Calvard is thinking about this current non-aggression pact is literally just like, oh yeah, it's a piece of paper. It means literally nothing. It's like, yeah, it's a non-aggression pact. I could just declare war on you anyway. What's going to happen? Like, Arbonia is going to look at us and go, well, that's bullshit. I declared a non-aggression pact. But then Arbonia is just going to be like, well, I'm going to declare war anyway. If nobody's respecting this, why the fuck should I? So she's like, there's literally no reason that we would care about the non-aggression pact enough to even stop it. Like, it's just a diplomatic gesture, and the gesture means fucking nothing. So, I ask again, why are we doing this?
It's a show.
Don't give a fuck about the diplomatic repercussions.
Well,
because it's a three-way kingdom, and two of them don't give a fuck about the
Listen, liberals try to step in.
Why are we trading our one advantage to both enemies?
Listen, it's because there's rapid tension between Calvard and all these other places, and someone I don't think either of these places would make the first move to step into collaboration. Besides,
motherfucker, Urbonia declared war. I think if anybody's gonna make a fucking move, it's them.
Yeah, but it's more of a sign to coexistence. I mean, I do agree to an extent that she's too nice, and
the Queen's lost a fucking plot.
I don't like how they. I don't like how the characters in this say it's oh yeah, this is smart. It's I don't know if it's
they
smart,
praise
but
her for it. They're like, oh my god, she's so fucking smart. She's a genius. This is such a political genius move. What the fuck do you mean? Motherfucker, they just told you they don't care.
Well, no, Calvard's saying they don't care.
Yeah, and you go over to Urbonia, they're actually nicer.
Yeah, no,
Calvard. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, the Calvard people, it's they're spineless. They're just, the entire country is fucking spineless. It's yeah, we'll do it. Actually,
dude, they're just fucking high elves.
Threat, no. It's
yeah, they're just high elves. They're off in the corner going, "We're better than you," and then they're so we don't want to get involved in the petty conflict. That's literally what Calvard is. Fuck Calvard, man. The only thing I've learned about them is they're okay with murdering their dojo masters and fucking. These guys literally sit over there, eat hot chip, and lie. What? What are we supposed to think of them?
And after that enlightening conversation, we head over to Brodia to do similar things, but we run into Vander, and we love Vander in this house.
Mm-hmm. We're big Vander fans.
Yeah, and before we get in there, I think Vander's I wouldn't trust Olivier with fucking anything for fucking negotiations or anything. Because
he's literally Olivier you sit here, shut up, I'll go introduce them.
Yeah. So good. Love them. Love both.
I love it too because it's the only way to progress it is to actually completely fucking ignore him. So it's we were controlling Olivier there for a moment, and Vander goes to introduce us, and we're we're going in anyway. It's so good.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, in terms of who's in our party, is basically Tita's gone, and then Agate/Shara is gone to go to three other different places. So we got Olivier, Zin, Chloe, and then Estelle. So basically the three main people for these three main areas, because makes sense if you have a representative. Technically, we have a representative of each nation in the party, so that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking the bonds,
DEI
baby.
Quota up. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Claudio's a DEI hire.
I fucking hate that term so much.
Or I guess Olivier would be. Yeah, Olivier's the DEI hire. 'Cause he's also like bi or whatever. Yeah, I like that.
But essentially,
Yeah, so
we go in, find the. I forget what the fuck this dude's name, but we basically get similar information from them, but they think that Calvard is up to something. Because, of course. But I think I feel like the most interesting thing to come out of this thing is Chloe mentions if Gileath Osborne, the Blood and Iron Chancellor, which is what a sick ass name for your leader of a country.
Blood and Iron Chancellor. That's
Our
some
nation-
God Emperor shit right there.
Yeah, I know, right? And this is like one of his quotes. Our nation's peace must be built on a foundation of blood and iron. And it's like, are you fucking Stalin? What's going on here? This is the most like Soviet coded like leader ever. And with the expansion of their rail system and annexing smaller states into the empire.
Literally just Russia and Germany put together.
And obviously this dude likes the pack, so like he wouldn't want to fuck this up.
Yeah, but the Calvard people, you might want to have a talk with them. You're just going in to like talk to the brother and sister, and they're like, "No, it wasn't me. It was he who ate the cookie." And you go over to the other one. No, it wasn't me. It was her. That's all it was.
It's literally that, but
The whole situation there. And so
okay, the crossbarrel issue doesn't happen till we get into the thing, because I thought it came up here, but comes up when we talk with the Queen, which I find that very interesting. So we go over to the Grancel Castle to speak with both kind of like the head of the maid, Hilda, and also the Queen about the letters. And apparently most of the letters sent to like the castle were about petitions to reduce Colonel Richard's sentence and like parole.
I think they also mentioned that there was more than one letter, which I think is really funny. They just spammed our inbox until we took notice.
So yeah, she doesn't know much about the letters, but with but the parents' side, Hilda, they asked for a tour of the castle, and then Hilda's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then when
Zombie parents.
It's not exactly that, but like it's
Zombie parents, Brandon.
It seems like
the child is evil.
It seems like during the tour that the parents were spacing out during it, and like the implication with the conversations, like, oh, maybe they were in like danger, that's why they had to go, and we're like kind of like spacing out.
You know, the more I talk about the evilness of this little girl, the more I think of like Candace when she gets her like her allergy, and she's like, "Those boys are evil." EVILBOIS. I feel like that right now. The girl is evil.
We also get to see the Queen Alicia about the letters, and both Chloe and like the Queen thinks that it might be right-wing groups being unhappy that the coup did go their way because they need military might, baby. So it's potentially formal intelligence division people sending these letters to the castle.
You know, 100 years into the future, there's going to be a bunch of Liberalian citizens just standing outside during like national fairs or whatever, going like, "Fucking liberal, fuck yeah!" Like, it's just that's all this is.
Yeah, I did get taken off guard when you started hearing about like the right wing. I was like, oh my god,
it's just the states. Run. You look outside, it's like,
We will make liberal great again.
Cutting that. Fuck him.
I gotta push the envelope every now and then.
During this conversation, it seems like there's a crossbell issue where the Republic, Calvard Republic, and the Empire claim that crossbell is part of their governments, and some crossbellians want independence. So that may be that's one of the reasons why the Queen is trying to form this non-aggression pact, is to kind of diffuse kind of like this situation going on, because like this could obviously turn into another war over crossbell. So like I agree with like her methods there of like doing like this to like tie down like the ties of like this conflict, which, you know, I can appreciate, but like there's also like other downsides. It's like you're giving this to the Empire, you know, the fucking Iron and Blood Chancellor.
Not only that, you're making yourself a target the more you stand in their way, right? It's like you're not exactly lying low. You're literally throwing your body against them, saying, "Stop, please! Here, have more advanced military technology. Just don't hurt us." Fucking this Queen, man.
Well, it's not hurting liberal, because like
No,
liberal
but she's
has
standing in front
essentially
of Crossbell.
proven. I liberal / Cassius has kind of like proven it's like liberal is off limits, buddy.
We'll see how long that lasts. When you tell an empire no, they just want the land more.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why she's doing this, and also like wants better relations with stuff and whatnot. And that's basically the castle, unless you have anything
Nope.
else you want. Nope. Then we head over.
This whole segment is just fucking walking around talking to people. I think I almost fell asleep during the whole Queen thing. I think I skipped almost all that conversation.
I think surprisingly it was interesting, but it's try to go back on those conversations. This whole segment is very long and arduous.
Yes.
I wish it was betterly paced, because I feel like the information you get there is good. It's just there's just so much repetition in there. But there's like also
not only
like
that,
interesting
it's been
stuff.
repetition since the start of the fucking story. They're not foreshadowing. They're just telling us like half of it and then revealing the other half alongside the first half later in the game. So it's like, hey, here's plot point A, and you're like, okay. And the next chapter, it's like, hey, here's plot point A. I mean, yeah, I remember that. Thank you. And then the next chapter after that, they're like, hey, here's plot point A and the follow up B. And it's like, I got that already. Just tell me B. Like, the amount of times we've heard, oh, by the way, there's a negotiation going on for the new engine for the RCL. It's like, that's a bet. I didn't even need to look up notes. I immediately knew in my head. I was like, oh yeah, that's what's happening. But yeah, it was fine. I feel like they could have probably paced it out a bit better, but that's the Bracers Guild in a nutshell in it. There's trails in the sky. You got to take what you can.
Yeah, these early games are not really well paced.
Nope.
Especially with dungeons like this, it boggles my mind that the end of this chapter doesn't have like any unique dungeon. There's like, it still feels like there's barely any like game besides side content in this. And like the main dungeon you do is a dungeon you've already done beforehand. It's like,
it just slowly becomes a visual novel, which is like fine. I like that. I just wish that they had better writing for the visual novel. But I mean, obviously the game is good, or else we wouldn't be here talking about it. So, it just has its moments where it's like, Jesus Christ, guys, come on. Can we put a bit more budget into thinking about this for half a second? With all that said, we should probably eventually actually end up going to where are we?
yeah, we finally head over to the Liberal News to ask Niall questions. Niall's assessed that these letters are not...
is Joshua incest progression. What the fuck?
Niles assesses that these letters are not a threat due to there being no real danger present to the senders, because it's all just kind of like a vague reason, because he's used to like terrorist negotiation letters. So
Yeah.
his thing is like, this seems like a prank, not really like an actual threat.
Yeah, this is kind of like not the main content if it is main. Like there's nothing here. It's just words, right? What was this specific thing? He said something along the lines of like they didn't actually specify anything. They just said something bad will happen, which is more
like
childish than anything else. It's like, oh, we'll do it, whatever it is. And he's like, that's no leverage. We don't care what it is. We're not gonna be sitting there quaking in fear.
Yeah.
Which I agree with. And it's very amusing when we figure out who wrote those letters.
Because it
They are
was
very
literally a child.
Yes.
He also mentions that Dorothy went to the new training facility where the army has repurposed the old Sky Bandit hideout to a training facility, which, is also like a old, ruins, but, the military can do whatever it does. It doesn't care about, historical artifacts or whatever.
I guarantee you the next time we go to Dorothy, she'll be like, guys, look what I found. And she'll show us a picture and it'll have like some crazy technology that's like destroying the world, but she was taking a picture of like a butterfly in front of it or something.
I mean, she does take a picture of something.
Great? Is it a butterfly great? And then Estelle's like, what the hell's that back there? And then it just magically solves all the problems. And Dorothy's like, huh? I guarantee you that's going to happen.
And then we head back to the Bracers Guild, baby. And then Agate, or Shara, got nothing for us, but conclude that the society's not behind the letters, but on the parent side, I don't know what Shara says. I'm going based off the Let's Play, so my notes are Agate centric. Agate mentions that Renne's parents checked out of their hotel and went to the church to pray, but something once again seemed off with them being vacant. And he also checked the airliner record, and apparently Renne's whole family wasn't listed in the books because they're.
Yeah, sure, I said the exact same thing.
Yeah, because they're. The whole reason why Crossbell was brought up in the other conversations because Renne's parents and Renne's from Crossbell, allegedly, but they could find no one with the names or the nationality on the records that came to the ship. And
yeah, and our genius asses think that the reason because of that is not at all because she's a demon child, which is the correct answer always, but instead because they put on a fake identity, so they must be in real danger.
Yeah, so it's just like doubling down, because like you'd never assume, because like I don't think the characters are dumb for it, because it's just it's like the narrative thing. It's like it seems evil in the plot because we're seeing this through the lens of a story, but I feel like the characters to a certain point, except the because it's like you don't really feel malice with like a child because you don't think a child is like capable of this shit, divorced from the actual story itself. So I don't find them.
I guess is a completely separate entity that doesn't exist.
Well, it's not like we know that at the certain point we don't know the child is part of Ouroboros. So like none of the people in the group would have any reason
I'm just
to
saying,
really
like,
doubt the child itself. Like they might doubt the parents because like obviously you'd assume like the parents would have more knowledge and they're more sus than like a child.
I'm just saying that Estelle literally grew up with a child who was brainwashed by Ouroboros.
But this child doesn't show violent tendencies. She's just a weird child.
So is Joshua. Did Joshua like skin rabbits in his backyard or something? And Estelle was just like, "That's precious, huh?"
Well, the thing is with Joshua, he doesn't he doesn't show any of that to Estelle while he's there. That's like one of the deals that he made with Cassius, and like also the repressed shit as well. So like Estelle didn't grow up around that.
Yeah.
So like also Estelle's just a naturally trusting person.
Very true. Yes.
So I don't think the characters are done. And with that, they I think they go partying or something. Zin and Olivier get drunk or something, and then they go back to the hotel room to rest. There's Agate / Shara, plus the two children, and we get paired up with Reyna. Then it either goes with the other person, and it's the same fucking room that we were at with Joshua, with a flashback and all, which I find really funny.
And then she, I felt really sad during this because I wanted to sleep over with Tita, but we got traded. Basically traded for a Snickers bar. Like it was.
Estelle mentions that this is the same room that she and Joshua stayed at, and she freezes up a little bit, and Reyna asks what's up about that, and Estelle tells her about the whole Joshua situation there to her to get that established.
And now we have finally gotten to my notes where I said Joshua incest progression. So now we have context to why the fuck I wrote that down. Yeah, and then she just tells the story, I think, right?
Yeah, and then we cut to the Shara / Agate / not slash and Annalise stalking out the intelligence division camps as they see a few go by, and it's like one of the mines we saw earlier in the game with one of the abandoned sky pirate ships.
Yeah, when you had to go all the way to the mines and they go, oh, we need a key. And they go all the way back to the village to get the key.
Oh, yeah, it's that place. It's that place.
Dude, I saw the mine and I was like, no shot, they're going to have us do this again. But no, the whole thing's a cutscene. No, you sneak in, you follow some people. You go up to the same like open area where the ship was. There's a nice little campfire, rip roaring. It's a lovely night. The moon is shining. And then all of a sudden, you're fighting, and you beat them, and then they fucking explode.
Well, they don't explode yet.
Oh, sorry. They have a delayed timer.
But before that, they get ambushed. They go through belongings and they find a blueprint to something called the Orgilier? Orgua? Something. I think
French.
it's French. Yeah. So Umbronia.
You mean liberal?
Well, Olivier's name is.
Urbonia is German.
Oh yes, I'm getting two things conflated in my mind about stuff. Yeah, French. There's also a note in between the pages that says, I've sent out the invitations. I've got the table and chairs ready. Everything's ready for the tea party. So here comes the chapter title name in there. Mm-hmm. Now the intelligence soldiers ambush them. They do a little fight, then they're on the ground. And once they beat them, Campanella, the Ouroboros green-haired member boy, appears. Actually, he doesn't appear because both in the Let's Play and in my game, his sprite doesn't appear. So it's like...
Yeah, same here.
It's like... It's just a glitch that's happened on like every single version. And it's really funny because like... It's like, is he supposed to be invisible? And then there's just like a power-up effect. And it's just like, okay, it's powered up like invisible person. so fucking funny.
It's really good.
Then the intelligence people get up somehow, and then Cavalier's like, ah ha ha, I'm gonna show you true power or something. I don't remember exactly what he says. And he
I think he says Uno.
reverse Uno,
And then they attack.
and then blows up the intelligence division people.
Can you
And
imagine
they
if
fly
like
to
you're
bits.
fighting a final boss and his final move to show that he checkmates you is fucking Uno? I'd be so happy. But yeah, no, they blow up.
Yeah, he blows them up, and then he's like, "See you later, fuckers!" Woo. I think. He's
Why
like,
is it? Why did the way that you said "see you later, fuckers"? I was just thinking of you bastards from like You're Trying to Die, dude.
What's up, you
See you
bastards?
later, you bastards.
I mean, Kevin Ella has such that energy, though. He has that energy of like, "What's up, you bastards?" What's going on? Oh, so I forget why he's there. I think he's just taunting them about the Tea Party or some shit. I don't
I thought he
know.
was supposed to like evaluate the girl.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
But both of them are kind of shaking up. It's like, holy shit, this dude just blew up the soldiers. And it's like, hold up. There's no blood or flesh.
I love it too because they're like, "Oh my god, avert your eyes," and then he looks over. It's like, wait a fucking second.
It's like, but they're orbital machines. Orbital puppets.
Zombies,
if you will.
You mean zombies?
Also out of the corner, Kevin appears as well. The church dude.
Hello.
Who is also on the lead here.
Mm-hmm. I'm an investigator.
Oh,
Hey, it's me, it's Kevin!
Church.
and we cut to another place in Bose, or I think, yeah, because the mine place was near Bose, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
we
off the
cut like
Bosun
directly,
path.
yeah, to like a Bosun path where we see the Sky Pirates ambush another pair of intelligence soldiers, puppet things. And then Joshua does a cool finisher on them, and then
Dude, they actually just set up an artillery barrage as an ambush.
yeah, I think
Dude
they
like
like
sets up a cannon shot first and launches a grenade launcher at them. Another guy throws like 5 bombs, and then whatever the fuck Jesse, her name is it actually Jesse? It's Jesse, isn't it?
it's not Jesse. It's
Does it start with a K?
oh my god, how did
I
I
don't
forget
know.
her name?
Female sky pirate. She
Because
does
I know
a
it's
gunshot.
Kyle Dawn, and then
Meow, that's right.
she doesn't do anything this chapter, so we don't need to.
She like insults Estelle, and then he's like, "Ugh," and then she's like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "I actually didn't mean it."
Yeah, the only time I remember her name this chapter is when Estelle like refers to her as like bimbo or something later
Yeah.
on. And it seems like they already saw the blueprints and like the whole like thing because they know about the Tea Party. And they're, I guess,
They're
goal is
basically
just to
just
take
acting
out
as a distraction.
yeah,
Because their
so,
whole
like,
their whole shtick is they're trying to get more soldiers out into the woods to like go and like give other people time. Which is weird because I
interesting.
don't really know what the hell Joshua's trying to do here.
yeah,
Help the
it's like
Bracers Guild without helping the Bracers Guild. Like, is he tracking Ouroboros? What the hell's he doing?
yeah, it's also Joshua's being angry. It's like the Bracers have nothing to do with me anymore. It's like, but what are you doing? What's the plan, buddy?
He's just like
I don't want her to see me like this, but I'm always gonna be in arm's reach just in case.
he's
Listen,
just being an
he do
edgelord.
be like
just
that.
let him be. Yeah, just let him be. He's got the white like scarf thing going on. He's in his popular arc, you know. You gotta let him have it.
And then this is all kind of like during night, and then I think we cut back to the morning in the royal villa where Estelle meets with Sid, and then goes over every information with them, and then Duke comes in informing them that the fuck people in my notes are in Bose.
The what people?
I don't know why I made a joke.
People.
It's
You were
I think
actually just losing your mind.
kind of. It's probably the intelligence. He informs them that the intelligence division had some sightings in Bose, and that prompts us to go back to the guild.
Yeah. The fuck people are in Bose.
Took me a while to remember what I was trying to say there.
I love the notes that are just like, okay, this is probably very funny, Alex, but I don't know what the hell this means.
But there's two conversations before we go back there. Once Tita gained a little jelly that Estelle has been spending more time with Renne, and then Estelle and Tita hug it out a little bit. And then the other one is the Duke leaving or being escorted or some shit, and I could care less because he's just being a bitch.
All of the notes. It's literally just like, I want more cards. And then Estelle's like, you should try being a better person and taking care of the people who are around you and love your neighbors. If only you weren't such a big fat loser, people might respect you. She like full-blown Morgan Freeman's him, and at the end of it,
she does say that if you should lose some pounds, fatty. It's like Jesus.
She's
Estelle.
literally just like, it's like the most stone cold telling him off. And at the end, they're like, Estelle, you're so nice and kind, and she's like, huh? She's like, she didn't say anything kind. What do you mean? And then Philip is like, oh my god, I'm sorry, he's always been like this. And then she's like, maybe you should stand up for yourself. And he's like, you know what? You're right. Nobody's ever told me to do that before. And then that's that. He wanders off with them. I think it's too the Duke literally just wants to get out of there because he's had enough of Estelle.
It's like, I've had enough of house arrest. Let me leave.
He's like, I just can't listen to her anymore. Just I don't care how many guards. Just take me out of here. So good. And off they go.
Yeah, and then once we get back to the guild, Elaine relays what we already know about the whole Bose situation to the characters, including the Orgelia and the Tea Party. And as this conversation happens, Rita just leaves. She just leaves. And after a while, they notice that Rita has left. So now they gotta go look for her.
Cut to the next 3 hours of your life. Trying to figure out what the poems mean. What do they mean, Mason? What do the letters mean?
So the goal is basically, since yesterday, I forgot if we mentioned, but Tita and Reyna went off by themselves to do a little girls trip in town when we're doing all the investigation. So now we are going back to each of the places where Reyna and Tita visited the other day to see if she's there or not. And then each place we go, we see her.
We miss her by
she
an inch.
Yeah, literally we see her. She walks out, and then she gives out riddles to different people. And different stuff, and we have to figure all these out.
You go to the mall, and then you go to the museum, and then you go to the airport, and then that's where you meet up with
Gustav,
who's seeing.
But before that, a little thing.
Go through the whole thing.
No. It's something that's not related. It's like we briefly run to Gustav teleporting the orbital engines.
You mean transporting?
Yeah. Did I not just say transporting?
You said teleporting, yeah.
May have cut out, but I don't think. But yeah, we briefly run into Gustav transported the orbital engine, so that was neat. And then Tita's like, I love these so much, and then nerds out on them.
Dude, I had such like a moment with Tita because I was like, oh, that's so cool. I wonder how they work. Literally, the next line is she just gushing about them. I was like, God, if only they had a book or something that explained the tech and I could like figure out the one-to-one with real life. And then Tita's like, oh my God, they're so cool. And I was like, that's my girl.
And after this long journey that Renne brings us along, we see Olivier seeing Vander off, and they do their regular shtick of Vander being the straight man and Olivier being the very not straight man.
The straight man and the very not straight man, is that what you said?
Yes. Their whole shtick.
The straight and the not straight.
Love their dynamic.
And then he's like, why are you guys here? And we're like, oh, we've got letters. And then he's like, ah. And then he flirts a bit. And then I think, does he help with the final one?
I don't know, but the whole reason that like Vander's leaving is because Emboria, because like the Sky Bandit ship, I don't know, like, okay, so it's the Sky Bandit ship at the old ruins is still there, and it's part of Embrodian's own technology, because of the whole shtick with like the Sky Pirates being disgraced Embrodian nobles. So like Vander's going there to like collect it to kind of like sweep this under the rug. So like Embrodia is not associated with the Sky Pirates. Is the whole deal with why he's leaving to go there. At first I thought like that he was going because they saw his Sky Pirates defeating Intelligence Division people, but based off like what happens later, that's not it. So that's why he's leaving, which is interesting. Why they haven't, I guess. Liberals like, hey, Embrodia, you want this shit? Or something like that.
I don't know, man. Whatever the Queen's cooking up, it's a sauce that I have yet to taste.
Yeah, and as Olivier and them were talking, Renne appears behind them, and apparently she did this because she was bored, and then just it's like, oh hey, here's some cookies. Let's have some cookies. And it's like, ah, how lovely. Thanks, Renne, for doing this weird side thing, you strange child.
Mm-hmm.
And when heading back to the Guild, Renne stops Estelle and gives her a letter that a boy gave her along this whole... before coming to the airport.
What would you know? He looks exactly the way that she described Joshua. Wow. That's not at all suspicious.
Like, obviously, like, oh, she knows, but in the case analogy that, just this boy gave me this letter, and it's like, whoa. And it's like, yo, Estelle breaks up the letter, it's like, yo, Estelle, meet me at the gate outside in the wall in the evening. And she's like immediately like, yep, I'm going. Time to go.
It's just so dumb.
Go.
Like, fucking first question. Joshua's never met this fucking child. Why would he go up to her in broad daylight when he's supposed to be running away from her and going, I heard that you're with Estelle. Here, can you deliver this letter? Thank you. Like, Joshua, like, what he would do if he wanted to see Estelle would like fucking appear in a puff of smoke, say something cryptic, and then like just as she's gonna reach out to him would disappear. That's the edge boy in him that would happen. Or he'd like fucking watch her from like
but
10
Estelle
miles
doesn't
away and
know
she'd
this.
look over. Well, like, come on. I mean, there's two people that got caught and they're both just as dumb as each other. Come on. Like, from the same thing. It's like, you have a random informant who's a child, I guess? Like, I get the whole, like, you gotta suspend your disbelief or whatever, but come on.
You're seeing this as a story. These people are not seeing it as a story. It's like,
If
oh my god, this
if I explained to a new little girl that I met that was like that I was trying to help their parents around or whatever, and their parents like don't even think of this in terms of like, oh, is the kid lying? Think of this in terms of like, you know, the kid is in trouble, her parents have been caught. They clearly know that the kid is associated with the Bracers Guild now, right? You're investigating this thing. Do you think it'll be Joshua, or do you think it would be the people who are trying to do stuff to the supposed parents? Like, just by default, right? You'd assume, like, oh, this is not a letter
Estelle
that is for...
Estelle thinks with her heart, not with her brain.
Estelle thinks with her stomach. I'm not convinced she has any of the necessary components to think at a higher level than that. So Estelle, all horned up, runs off to fucking the romanticest place on earth, the top of a military complex wall.
A wall.
Some random ass wall.
And when
Conveniently very, 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 very far away from the Racers Guild.
And as she reaches the wall, she sees a shadow of a boy. But before we can see that, we cut to see the Duke just kind of like, is he eating an ice cream? I don't know. It's like, the guards left me. Oh, woe is me. And then Kanoe, the Richard's right-hand woman, kidnaps him as I need you for something.
I do love how in the end he was totally right about extra guards. It's just like, I need more guards. And Estelle's like, look, you're a terrible person, fat ass. Go and take a walk. It'll be good for you. And he's like, I'm leaving. And then turns out, yeah, he needed more guards.
But honestly, I think those guards would have died to those intelligence division.
And to be fair, I think the guards left him because he was annoying. So there's a lot going on there.
So fuck him. I forgot the Duke was a major part in this story.
He's really not. He's just like the goofy of the story.
Like he's like a plot element in this story. I just
little
forgot
shit happens
about
and he's in the background, oh, blah, 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 and that's all he's doing, like just crying and screaming and wetting his pants. Like that's it.
It's more of the Duke that I want to see.
I want to see more of him.
I want to see less.
I want to see him have a whole ass arc. Waka gets his racist arc. Why can't we get a good arc for the Duke? Our man, the Duke. Our Duke needs a sexist arc. That's what he needs.
He doesn't need more stuff to make him reprehensible.
He needs to become an incest. An incest? Whoa. An incel. Oh my god.
Chloe, watch out! Chloe, watch out!
Run! No, he needs an incel arc. That's what I was trying to say. Jesus.
But we get back to the wall, and the shadow turns out to be Kevin, who got a similar letter to come here.
He's like, wait a second, you're my informant? And she's like, wait a second, why'd you write that letter? And then he's like, ha, that's so cool. I didn't know that you were also working for them. You totally caught me off guard. And she's like, what? And he's like, huh? And they're like, wait a second.
And then they get
silly.
And then they get swarmed by flying orbital
in the
robots.
middle of a military-industrial complex. Not a single soldier reacts to the 10 drones that attack them on their wall.
Listen, these guards have never seen drones before, so how do they know? This is new tech to them, Alex. Listen, nothing matters besides our main characters. Nothing exists without our main characters.
That's true.
And we fight and beat them. And then Kevin's mentions like, damn, these look like the stuff underneath Grancel, and Ouroboros might be behind it. And then Estelle's like, why the fuck are you saying it like that?
How do you
How do you know about that, and why are you saying that like that? Like the writer wants us to say something like this.
Oh, you sure said that in a way that makes it sound like somebody wrote down exactly what you were supposed to say for the purpose of some higher power that's watching over us right now. That's kind of weird. But stop doing that.
And then, like, some soldiers come up to question us. We prove we're supposed to be here, and they mentioned there's an attack on the villa, but Sin managed to defend them off. So it's like, oh shit, shit's going down. And Estelle tries to like press Kevin on like, how do you know this? And it's like, we got bigger problems. I'll tell you later. So it's like, okay, we head back into town. It's like there's clearly something's being set up here. At
She
night.
threatens him. She's like, I will fucking take you into the authorities if you don't tell me later. We'll put this off for now. I love Kevin.
Yeah, and because now it was in the evening. Now it's back at night, which is kind of crazy how far the wall is from Grancel.
Mm-hmm.
But makes sense. Where we run to Philip once again, and he has no idea where the Duke is because all of his fucking guards left him. Poor dude. So he's like falls and says, "It's like, we'll try to help him." Totally, yeah. Totally. And then once we get back to the Bracers Guild, everybody's passed out on the ground.
Yeah.
Everybody's passed out on the ground.
Except the butler.
What?
I think it's the butler, isn't it? Isn't he like the only one that's awake?
Philip's with us already.
Wait, what? Did I just like have a fucking time lapse? What? Okay.
Okay, so everybody at the Bracers Guild is passed out on the ground, except Renne is not there at all. And there's an envelope laying by where they are. And the letter says that they took the Duke and the girl, and if they want them back, they should come to their tea party. And Estelle is like...
No directions, by the way.
No directions. Just like...
Just
you'll
like the
you'll
tea
know
party.
it.
Figure it out.
You'll know. You'll have a bird that will show you where it is.
Yeah. You'll have a magic talking bird. It'll be fine.
And Estelle's like double checking. It's like, is Renne's the only person? Is Renne the girl in the letter? And it's like, apparently it's true. And that's when Sheriff/Agate and Alice walk in, ready to help with the situation. Come back from Bose. Also, they can't call any backup because they broke their phones. It's just like the training taught us, Alex.
Now, where's the engineer that's pretending to be dead so that we can wake him up to fix the thing?
So, since we have no phones, it's like Annalise is set. Annalise is sent to the villa to establish a connection there to get potential backup and whatnot. Establish, and then also it's like, Philip, don't come with us. Stay behind.
I think he tends to them, and that's why I was so confused earlier. Because he's like, yeah, I'll make sure that when they wake up, they're good. And for some reason, I interpreted that as, he was always there, watching them.
I am the Philip in the night. I am the one who tends. Where's the Duke?
Where is he?
Where is he?
We cut to Sid's team. I think is pinned at the villa or is stuck there for a reason. It's right after the attack, so I'm not too sure. And it's like Sid's like, I'm gonna call some backup from the fortress for some assistance to the whole situation. And then we get back to which basically just sets up Julia to come by later. That's the whole purpose of that scene. And back to the main group with our peeps. Sig just comes out of the bracer guild and it's like, yeah, I know where the plot is. Just follow me.
Follow me this way. Scree.
Screw.
All right.
And like Chloe's not even there to like communicate with Sieg, so it's like
I love it too because Kevin's like, we cannot compare if you guys have this technology, and it's just the fucking bird. Kevin's like, that's crazy.
oh man, pigeon mail. So what crazy technology?
I just love
what
this.
time we're living.
Man,
in.
we're so. Oh, the church has nothing on the Bracers Guild. They have talking birds. I love Kevin. Now, if you go to the harbor.
To the harbor
where you have,
go.
I don't know about you, but I didn't have the fucking eagle vision orbital on this because it was on one of the other characters that was asleep. So I had invisible dogs, and it was a nightmare. It's like every 5 feet there was a dog that would spawn out of nowhere and it would hit me.
What?
Yeah, because they weren't invisible, but it was like the standard like vision-based thing where you have to be so close to them in order to reveal them, and then you can see them. But like without the eagle vision, the actual radius that you can see them in is exceptionally short. It's like literally a character's worth in front of you. So you'll turn a corner, a dog appears, and you're instantly fighting. It's awful. And they'll chase you even though you can't see them. So you'll just be walking around and there's like 3 packs of dogs on you. It's just out of fucking nowhere. It's awful. This whole section was so frustrating.
The beginning section wasn't frustrating for me. All I remember is the end. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like something you invade a harbor, something you save some people, something there's an engine, something you go all the way to the end of the harbor where
Wow, what's that sound?
the fucking harbor explodes and there's a fucking tank. As I wrote in the name, or as I wrote in my notes, and you can quote me on this in full capital, motherfucking tank. Also, by the way, the Duke's there.
Yeah, so like during the whole like skirmishes, we find some loyalist soldiers with Kanone leading the charge in like this whole area, and it also looks like they stole an orbital engine. And as soon as and soon enough, we run into Kanone with the Duke as her captor, and she runs into the warehouse, and like you said, it's the tank. It's the
motherfucking tank.
It's the
orbital tank.
Orbital tank.
And she's like,
This is the super tank. It'll beat you up something good. Rawr!
and then like rare XD, and then she just like hops into the thing and then starts zooming off, and like fucking it goes at Mach 10. That thing goes.
Yeah. That thing zooms. That's a powerful orbital engine, baby.
Dude, that bitch moves.
Yeah, and like her whole plan is like
starts
I'm gonna
drifting down the street and shit.
Yeah, her whole goal is I'm gonna ram this into the castle for another coup, baby. Let's fucking go.
So dumb. She's like, with this one item, I'll beat the whole royal army. It's like, what do you mean? And so you chase her, and I think the entire way through, like all the lights are turning off or whatever. Because did she activate it now or later?
Not now, but basically once she gets to kind of like the main square, because she's in a tank, so she outspeeds us. But before she can leave, Julia's forces show up that Sid called, and the two of them.
They set up Gatling guns in the street.
Well, they basically set up artillery.
Yeah, right. They have like anti-tank rifles like in the middle of the street, and they like set it up, and they're like, on your mark, fire, and it's like pew, and it hits the tank, it goes pew, and they're like, why didn't it do anything? And she pops out the top, she's like, ha, you idiots, we got like super magic tech. It's
basically she has the gospel.
It's like, I shoot your tank with my laser rifle, and she's like, I got laser deflecting armor. I got laser.
That really is the gospel. I mean, the gospel is really like I can disable all your technology, but power my own thing.
Yeah,
it's and then, because that's what it does. And like the two of them, like obviously, because last game established they were like at school with each other, so the two of them reminisce on the school days, and apparently, God,
As you do when one has a tank and is
Amelia
aiming it directly at you.
Kanone frames it as like them cat fighting. It's like, you're on the deep end. Who the fuck are you? and she's also very committed to the cause. It's like, I'll do this for Richard. She's very. She went through the alt-right pipeline, and she's
The Richard to alt-right pipeline.
yeah.
Dude, never do Richard, not even once. So yeah, her genius idea, and then she presses a button and disables like all orbital technology. And then all of a sudden, Lieutenant Schwartz is fighting a juiced up tank with a sword and like 3 guys, and the bracer's off in the corner. And then Kevin's like, "Oh, guys, I got a secret weapon," and he pulls out like the
Kronos
stick.
rod. The Kronos
Rod. And instead of doing something Kronos related, he just throws the stick at the rock.
No, he doesn't throw the stick. He jumps up really high and then stabs it into the gospel.
Right, sorry, I apologize. He threw himself with the stick at the rock.
I wrote in my notes. He pulls out the Kronos rod from earlier when I think Julia or someone. It's like, yeah, you can have this. And it's like Leroy Jenkins.
So dumb. It's the Kronos rod. It's like the equivalent of going, here's a magical explosion stick. You can only use it to cast fireballs. And the wizard's like, sick! And he runs up and hits the goblin with it. Like, that's not how you use the thing. But it works. And the thing gets turned off.
Listen, Kevin's not a magical user. He's a man of God, so he gotta crucify that shit.
Brother's literally just like, the teachings. We're gonna Jesus Christ
I'm
the
the church, and
show
this is a motherfucking
coming.
This is the church, and this is a motherfucking vampire right here. Stake it.
And it works. And so the tank orbital is disabled, and now you can hit it. And so you do repeatedly.
And you get a boss fight with a tank with help from Julia, which she's cool.
She's aight.
But
the tank fight sucks.
But fuck this fight.
It sucks.
It's so I can't. I just remember it's like, because it just does so much damage and then it can run so far. I just remember Julia being the only person who could do anything in this fight.
It's awful because like we praised the first time that they started doing this with like boss fights where it's like, we've got this region that you have to dodge, and it's like, it's really cool because now you have to worry about positioning and stuff. The entire time it happens, the only thing I'm thinking of is like, man, I wish I could move and do something. Like, just,
I know, right?
Just move and do something. The whole game would be infinitely better if there was like a set of control points you could use, and you could just like choose some of those control points to just be movement. And like if you knew what the fuck you were doing, the game would be infinitely better.
Basically,
but
just
instead,
be an
it's
RPG.
Like, yeah, and instead it's just like, okay, you can move or you can attack. And what's worse, nobody's speed is high enough to consistently move out of the fucking way of the tank. So the tank will be like, okay, I'm going to tell you where I'm going so you can avoid me. And then before you get a chance, it's like, okay, I'm going there now. It's like, why tell me then? Just fucking go.
And sometimes it does like this ram move, and it's like...
Yeah, and then it hits 3 of your fucking people because you have to be in melee range to hit them because everybody there is a melee fighter. So it's just like 3 people are half.
Well, in my playthrough, I got Shara and.
Brother, I had Shara too. It didn't matter. I had Shara and Taida.
No, you should have Agate.
Nope, I had Shara.
What do you mean you had Shara? What? Shara should be on the ground in your playthrough.
I might have had Agate, yeah.
Yeah, you had Agate. I think that's why it was even worse. I had Shara.
Yeah. I had Agate, Claudia, and...
No, it was Kevin. It was Kevin.
I knew Kevin was there. I knew I was there. Kevin. I knew Agate's there. So who else was it?
And Julia.
Was it Julia?
Yeah, you only get 4 people in this fight. It's Julia's your third.
Right.
Oh, your fourth. So like
You're right,
Julia
you're right.
has really good magic, but also costs a lot. But
Yeah, it's
it
not good
makes
enough because everything gets shrugged off by this stupid fucking tank.
Yeah, so like I had like a mixture of things, but it was still like rough.
I had pure melee and it was hell. This is one of those fights where I recommend you just spam the attack button until you die, and then you respawn, and then you spam the attack button until you die, until you get to the point where you can actually have an actual boss fight instead of just a watch 30 minutes of them killing you.
Yeah, that's
over
what
and
I
over.
think I had to do as well. But I kept fighting it at a certain
The
point.
second fight is a lot easier.
Oh yeah, it's like basically we finish the fight and then Kanone comes out of the tank. It's like I'm
love
not
this
done.
logic.
Fight me. And then it's like Estelle's like big words from someone who brought a tank to a sword fight.
I love that one. The logic of this woman is unbelievable to me. I'm gonna bring a tank and ram it into the side of a castle, and then it's like, I'm gonna bring you super technology and prevent them from hurting me. Oh shit, they countered me. I'm gonna hit them anyway. I've got a tank. I should wait. If I can beat a castle, I can beat 4 people. I lost against the 4 people. I don't need the tank. I'm her. It like pops out of the tank.
Yeah, no, she really thinks she's her. She's
And then
such
just
a
gets her ass
jobber.
kicked. So of course you kick her ass. She's once again on the fucking floor.
And she mauled pretty hard.
Oh yeah, it's great. She's gonna lose her hair by the end of this whole shtick.
And the Duke comes out of the tank because like he's for some reason.
Oh, yeah, he's
I
here
don't know
too.
why. I don't know why. Not Reyna. Why fucking Kanone needed the Duke? Oh, I know exactly why. The Duke, because it
she's
wasn't
gonna
her
restart
idea.
his plan.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was gonna restart the plan. Oh yeah, that's. But technically, it wasn't
Yeah.
her. I think it was more to mask the whole
Yep.
the whole Reyna also being kidnapped thing, but also it doesn't matter that much because she's gonna reveal it anyways. It's like, anyways.
Yeah, speaking
Duke's-
of, there's not just tanks in this fucking magical fantasy world, nor is there airships. There's one extra special sauce in this fucking universe.
And the Duke is okay. But yay, he's all right. I love that for him. But Reyna's not with him, and
could she
he
be?
doesn't know who's Stell is
Wait.
talking about.
Wait, Brandon, do you see that? In the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
No, it's Kanone saying she got played by a fucking little girl, and staying in the top house is Reyna. And Reyna asks, "It's like, did everybody enjoy the tea party?" And Stell doesn't. It's like Stell doesn't realize what's going on. It's like, sweetie, come down from the top of the roof.
I was actually yelling at Estelle at this point.
Okay, Stell's just
yelling
straight
at
up
the
dumb.
monitor.
Stell's very dumb for this.
And then she's like, and then Reyna starts doing her evil monologue, and Estelle's like, "No talk back. Come down here. Don't make me go up there."
Yeah, there's no excuse for Stell's stupidity here. She's very fucking dumb. She only gets fucking broken by the spell once Reyna calls herself the master of the tea party, and pulls out a big scythe. Big girl with big scythe. Big girl with big scythe.
It's small girl, big scythe. It's even better aesthetic.
Small girl, big scythe. Woohoo! And like the sprite that they show once, she says, "I'm enforcer number 15, the angel of slaughter." And her sprite is so Slafter. I love her sprite here. It's so fucking good.
Editor Brandon, display, enhance.
And then I'll probably talk about I'll talk about it after
I
this
can't
whole
believe you're
scene's
skipping
done.
the most important part of this whole shtick.
Wait, what porn? Oh, well,
Brandon,
no, I'll get to it.
But Brandon,
And in this
you gotta give
conversation,
the people what they want.
I'm now very confused. Anyways, I'm going to continue on. And she compares herself to how Joshua once was. She reveals that, specifically mentioning like, I'm like how the Black Fang once was, and Estelle's like, what? And she reveals that all the letters were her doing, and it's like Estelle's like, but what about your parents or something like that? I forget how this is brought up. It's like, oh, them, and then summons them. It's like, these are just orbital puppets.
I only have one true mama / papa. And then
I mean, like, she knocks like both of them off the thing. It's like Estelle's like, what? And so everybody's like, they're not real, Estelle. Come on now.
I love how shocked you. What are you doing? Like picking up the cogs.
Oh no! Their little mechanical pieces have fallen out. We gotta get a doctor's stat.
So I imagine happening.
Also, in this conversation, she starts referring to herself as a princess for some reason. I forget like the context, but like which is like a weird call for me because that was kind of like one of my ideas is like, oh, maybe she's like a princess from the thing. It's like, oh, is she like, is this like just like a one-off thing where it's like, I'm not the master of this tea party. I'm more like a captive of like the prince. I'm more acting like the princess role in this tea party or something like that. I can't tell you. I'm just saying I was also half right in a weird way, but not as right as you.
Yep. I took one look at that little kid and her parents with their weird fucking faces, and I was like, that is an evil child. There's no shot this child isn't malignant.
I mean, that dress either signifies that she's very refined or very evil.
Very evil. The purple hair, immediately, I was like, purple is the sign of evil. This is evil woman.
And she calls for her real parent. And
Yes!
from the air comes a giant orbital mech, which is...
It's a fucking Gundam!
It's just a fucking Gundam. It's also called...
And it's her dad and her mom put together. It's a goddamn Gundam!
It's more like... It's like the protection of the dad with like the emotional intelligence of the mom or something like that. It's also called...
And it's
called Patter Matter, which is like... Oh, her whole aesthetic is like Alice from Wonderland, and that's the whole aesthetic.
Isn't Patter Matter literally just mother father or father mother? Sorry,
maybe, or like kind of like I potentially, or like Matter Hatter, just like that kind of like entendre.
Well, I think like Patter is like Potter, so it's like Potter or Mater, and I think that's German. Because I remember my grandparents are Hungarian. I think Mater and Father or something like that is like as close as you get to mother and father. So I read that as basically just mother father.
Yeah, no, you are right. I
like Matter Hatter though.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I kind of like got from like almost like Mad Hatter almost. Mm-hmm. In a sense, but you're more right on that aspect of just mother father, but like this being kind of like one of like I like the idea of like there's like some parallel to like Alice in Wonderland thing because like the whole tea party shtick, and then like the Mad Hatter's here almost in a sense, like almost like the head of this tea party.
Yep.
And then also the mech takes the gospel thing off the tank, and it's like, this is mine now. You can't have this. Yoink. And then Renne goes into its hand, and then the rest of the gang wakes up and is like, including Sid's whole gang, and sees this shit. And it's like, oh my god, you seeing this shit?
What the fuck? Is that a Gundam?
Not a Gundam?
Is that a Gundam? Oh, I love that show.
Also, apparently
And
she
then it just kind of
planned.
slowly flies away menacingly.
And also, apparently, she planned for them to come here at this time, adjusted the potency of the sleep medication just at this time, like Joshua once taught her. It's like, bro, how the fuck did you know this timing? How?
Are like each cookie like individually sized for each person? Like
Sin gets the big cookie because he's a big boy.
he's like, oh hell yeah. Then he wakes
Joshua's
up
a
at the
magician.
exact
That
time.
I feel like that's it.
Look, we've already been told that Joshua is basically the personification of Jesus Christ, okay? He's just edgelord Jesus.
Or the Antichrist, who knows?
I think, potato. So yeah, and then she flies off menacingly, and then they're like, oh, we'll get her. And apparently the Gundam is faster or more sneaky than the super modern military ship. So that's cool. Their engine is already out of date because something Ouroboros.
Something. Also, Reyna really wanted to kill Estelle, but wait, what the fuck? 1 second.
Are you sure?
Okay,
I thought it was the opposite.
I remember. I think as she's like, oh, I really wanted to kill Estelle because she's the reason that Joshua won't come back. I think she specifically says this to Estelle's phrase, I think, here.
I don't know about kill, but I know that she said something along the lines of like, I really wanted to play with Estelle. And I think there's evil undertones. And then who she's talking to is like, are you sure? Or is that just what Big Boss is telling you? She's like,
No.
She's
No,
kinda
well,
cool.
she also says that later on, but she also says this directly here to them.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, like she directly states to so that she really wants to kill them because like she's bitter that Joshua won't come back to them. But she's like, I guess I have fun, so I had fun with you, so that's plus. And then Tina's like, here it's like, what's going on with my new friend?
Oh my god, that big Gundam has my friend!
It's like, God, Tina.
Because like Tina's hearing all this shit, it's like, you want to kill Estelle? What's going on here? And then Renne just blasts off with the milk.
And blasting off again.
And now it's tarot time.
Tarot time? It's tarot time.
Tarot
Everybody
time.
Get ready for tarot time. What tarot cards do you have for us today, Mr. Brandon, sir?
Okay, I was very dumb, and it's like, Angel of Slaughter, you're the Justice Arcana. And then I thought about that. That's my prediction of what it was. It's like, I forgot, you have to look at the actual, what the fucking enforcer number is, idiot. That's the whole point of this. I can't. And it's number 15, which is the devil, which is very funny.
I told you she's an evil woman, and I was unbelievably correct. I was like, I think she might be evil, and you're like, nah. And then we cut to like fucking 10 episodes later. It's like, yeah, she's the devil.
You mean last episode?
No, because like way back in like the first game.
It was when we were in
the one waterfall place.
we were in the seaside town,
No. It was in the waterfall place,
which is by the seaside town.
Yeah, but it's outside of the seaside town. It's not.
But
in
it's
the
during
seaside
that chapter.
No, no, Brandon, you don't understand. I'm actually you right now, not the other way around. That's not how this works.
Because
Yeah,
I forget if we
during
went
the
to
seaside
Zeiss
town
after
shit.
that or whatnot, but it's
I don't think so. I think we went there to go investigate something and came back. But way back then, that's why I was like, she's evil. And then like 10 chapters later, it's like, oh yeah, she's the devil. And at the time, you're like, nah.
no, I
just-
agreed
love
with you.
that dichotomy.
I agree. I was like, yeah, I can see
You're
that.
like, I don't know. Yeah, you're like, I don't know. I think
No,
she's
no,
more like
I
royalty.
agreed. I agreed with you. It's like, yeah, this is a possibility. I just went with like the royalty theory.
Yeah, but then there's no conflict and no drama in our story. You see?
Well, with if they were actually crossbell like nobles, that would be interesting because of like the
That
whole
would be, yeah.
whole situation. So like, I wouldn't say that wouldn't be less interesting. But anyways, the devil in the upright position is very funny because usually you have the negative aspects in reverse, but in this one it's really like it's like the represents like the darker side and negative forces that can strain you and hold you back from being the best version of yourself. Like,
Oh my god, they have a nuanced pick. What the fuck?
I know this one fits so surprisingly well. It's like you're
Holy
you
crap.
found yourself trapped between short term pleasure you receive and the long term pain that you experience. So it's like short term. It's like you're doing all these things where it's like, oh yeah, this is great, but like long term, it's where you're kind of like pushing like long term stuff. It's like kind of like anarchy for the sake of kind of like anarchy. In a sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you choose the path of instant gratification, even if it's at the expense of long term well being, which is I feel like pretty apt with like with
Old
Reina's whole shtick. This chapter is like the main reason that she's doing this, besides like the whole organization thing, is like she's bored and wants to have fun with people. She wants to fuck with people, and
Yeah.
like the only reason she didn't kill anybody because she could is later when in a later scene is because the Lord said don't kill anybody. Which is like that's kind of like the short term of like, ooh, the instant gratification of killing someone. But out of this, she found a kind of like a new appreciation with them because she had fun with everybody doing this, and she wouldn't get that without, killing them. It's like there's that short term, the short term kind of like having like good positive effects long term, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the reverse position is when you're on the verge of a breakthrough, of getting past these kind of like negative tendencies.
My god, they really actually thought about her. Yeah, if she's not like a pivotal character that's more important than Joshua, I'm gonna be really upset.
I don't think she's gonna be. I feel like she's gonna be like a thematic parallel to like Joshua's whole shtick.
But that means we're gonna save her, right? Like Shirley, because Joshua was. Well, I guess he was saved later, but like way later after a kid. Right, his innocence was already lost, but hers is yet to be lost. You know what I mean?
And
that might be a decent parallel.
Mm-hmm. This is the last bit I'll say on the reversed side of the devil is it calls on you to confront your inner fears and anxieties to free yourself from the chains that bind you to your limited beliefs and unhealthy attachments. So
it just sounds like a preacher is just saying this.
I mean,
Let go of the chains that bind you.
So I can see some thematic parallels of like her tarot kind of like flipping and being like getting out of that being the reverse position, but she's definitely in like the upright position of the devil in her current stage of life.
Yeah,
which I think is neat and it makes more sense than whatever fucking Walter's thing was last time, even if it made some amount of sense.
It was literally just like power.
It's literally
Walter.
just strength. Strength.
Yeah, power, Walter. We need power. That's it.
He wants so much power. And she wants so much fun.
What's up with him? Yeah. And together they form a dead child. That's all Walter can do.
I think Renne can absolutely beat the shit out of Walter.
I just really like the fact that Walter tried to kill a child. I think that's so funny that he threatened a kid.
It's very funny. Walter tried to kill the child, and then Renne befriended the child.
That's true. That's true.
And also betrayed the child. So that child's gonna have a lot of fucking trauma at the end of this game.
Poor Tita. Oh, yeah, you got the fool left, right?
Well, we already went over the fool in the first
Did
thing.
we?
And yeah, we did. And also, we can talk about it more if we get into the other scene.
I'll be honest, it's been 2 hours and I'm barely holding on, so...
Yeah, we can skip it. That's fine.
Cool.
Oh, it's this fucking scene. We cut... After the scene, I cut to probably a day or so later, where we see Kanone being confronted by Sin and Julia. They're interrogating her about her relationship with Renne. But she's like, fuck you, the Colonel Stream is the only thing that matters, man.
She's like, no, if my Richard doesn't sanctify it, I'll never let you know.
And then Cassius barges in and is like, brings Richard with him. It's like,
Richard.
And he's like, don't be a bitch. Tell them what they want to know. Peace and love. All right, bye.
She's like,
So stupid.
yeah, and Richard comes in and is like, he seems regretful for wrapping her into
Regretful?
his
Dude's in a state of bliss. He's literally walking in with the peace sign. Like, what the fuck happened? Did they drug him?
He just listen, he's a
I'm
change
not
man
convinced
after
that's actually Richard. That can't be Richard.
he's a change man
Can't
after
be.
he's a change man after Cassius beat him into the fucking ground.
You have
Listen,
one fight with Cassius and you're like, love
all
and peace,
bad guys.
man.
It's JoJo logic, man. If you beat the bad guy, they become your new best friend.
Yeah, but he didn't do a JoJo pose. He just got beat the shit out of by a machine.
But that's what JoJo characters do best: getting shit beat out of them.
True.
Yeah. So he does. Yeah. And he doesn't want her to follow his narrow-minded vision anymore. And as a show of this, he personally disbands the intelligence division right in front of her as a testament to his will, and basically telling her not to kill herself for him.
Yeah.
It's like, there's more to life than just following my, stop trying to achieve my dreams. It died.
Stop being a simp. I don't like you that way.
Also, I guess I feel like this gesture doesn't even matter in a sense, because I feel like the followers wouldn't just I guess they wouldn't have any surrogate leader, so it's what the fuck do we do? I guess so. I guess it disbands in that way if there's no overarching power
Bro.
to keep them going.
All the intelligence division people just kind of awkwardly look at each other, shrug, and then put on their helmets and a gun and fuck off. They're all farmers now. In one fell move, their evolution is crushed. It's the laziest wrap-up ever, and I love it. I am all here for it. And Cassius comes in with them, too. So good.
Yeah, I fucking hate her so much.
She's awesome.
I hope we never see Richard and her again. I hope this
We
is
will.
just this wraps.
No, she's gonna find some new fucking ultimate evil or whatever and cling to that guy.
No. She was gonna come in for our aid. And that's what's gonna happen.
Oh, you think she's gonna be a good girl now?
I guess.
It's Zuko logic,
I could,
you know?
I don't ever compare her to fucking Zuko. She does not deserve that. She's not a good character.
I never said that. I said Zuko logic. She's not Zuko.
And guess what? We cut back to the Bracers Guild. We've only been here like the 9th time this chapter, and it's gonna happen every fucking time because we have no other interesting place to go to.
Woo, Grancel. Well, you
Why do
want
we have to
to
go to the Bracers? Oh, no, thank you. And they get the call. It's like, Kanone is now willing to answer your questions, but we'll contact you later if we got anything useful.
Mm.
And then they like kind of like
I think that just ends.
no, and then they kind of like theorize like Renne gave Kanone the gospel and then suggested another tube with Kank, so cool with the tank. So girls can't have anything these days, you know. They can't just roll in with their tanks in the capital. Psh, come on now.
Wait, what? I don't remember this.
Oh no, they're just going over like, you know, Renne gave that gospel. It's like they're just going.
Am I right? Can't get shit in Detroit anymore.
And also T is upset with the whole situation, and Stell promises like, I'm gonna get her out of the society. If Joshua can do it, anyone can. It's like, I guess so, man. But also, I feel like it's much easier if it's a child, I guess, than just like a full adult. It's like, I don't think Walter's gonna fucking leave anytime soon. That dude's just a fucking full blown psychopath.
A child killing, old man punching psychopath.
Old man killing, not just punching. Punching to
the
death.
Killing is implied.
And also Kevin's here, and he can explain his whole situation of who he is.
It's not at all complicated. It's literally stuff we already knew, so it's just a bunch of minutes wasted having to go. And now I'm catching up the characters.
Yeah, basically like a Grail's Ritter. I don't know what the fuck. Grail's Ritter? Is that it? Is that
Rider, isn't it? Like Ryder?
No, it's Ritter.
Ritter?
Yeah. GRALSRITTER.
How the fuck do you pronounce that?
Grail's Ritter, I guess.
Oh, it is Gralsreiter.
Gralsreiter. Okay, that.
Yeah, because
he's
Grail in German.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin's a Gralsreiter of the Septian Church, and they're holy knights who are masters at combat and artifact experts, but he's new, so he's not. He's not really an expert at anything yet. So the main reason
it's
he came.
Gralsreiter.
What? Sure, man. I don't really care about that.
That's how it's pronounced. Sorry, I was Google translating while you were monologuing. Go back to monologue.
And the main reason he came to Liberal was the society, and he's investigating the shining ring of Alluriel, or the bullshit ring that can do anything.
The Holy MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin. And that's his whole deal, so he's gonna go back to the church.
Yep, he has to go and report in. And that's stuff we already knew. So thank you, game, for telling us about it all over again.
I don't think we knew.
You dedicated to it wasn't fucking enough.
I mean, it's implied. I don't think we knew he was like a
Brendan,
like a
I'm
Gauls
23
writer.
years old. I can piece together fucking, oh, he's part of an organization. Oh, the church. Oh, he's
Well, yeah, no,
investigating the ring.
but this is like this is the official organization.
You don't need one.
Well, we know the
games,
name
you
of
can
it
choose
now,
two
okay?
different things,
Stop.
Future game developers, look in my eyes, look around my eyes, don't look in my eyes, look around my eyes. All right? You don't need both exorbitantly long exposition, paragraphs of exposition, and dedicated cutscenes spaced out across every single chapter that are each at least 10 minutes long of watching just to explain one concept that could be summarized in a sentence. If it can be summarized in a sentence, choose one of the fucking two, and ideally the first, because at least it's entertaining and slow instead of a 20-minute, oh, by the way, I'm this, and this is what I do, and also there's that thing, and then this other thing, and this other thing, and this other thing, and this other thing, and then I gotta go buy. God, this game repeats itself so many times. By the way, that's out of curiosity.
Kind of like,
did you happen to know that there's also a new Orbital engine that's being made used for negotiating a peace treaty? Holy shit, Trails. Please.
it's a long game.
All of this. I legitimately didn't. The moment he started explaining, I started spamming the enter button. I was like, I do not care.
And then Elaine gets a call about the Sky Bandits being in Bose apparently, and they snuck into the old Sky Bandit base and they stole their ship back where the army was holding it. And then it's like, oh shit, Shara teams back up with us, or Agate. So there's no more split timeline. It's like, yeah, we'll go with you. And then Annalise is like, I'm gonna go back to the unimportant group with Kurt, which is like, man, I wish you could have joined us. No,
Annalise is awesome. She's like one of my favorite characters.
And she's gonna go with Kurt's group to find the Ouroboros base so they can strike at their heart eventually.
Yeah. Strike pending.
And speaking of that, we cut to the Ouroboros base, which is very funny timing. Where Renne arrives back on her mech, and she goes up to Lawrence, very excited. It's like, since the experiment was a success, and yeah, he was the one that told her, it's like, yeah, don't kill anybody this time, just focus on experiment.
And she walks towards him and is like, oh my god, I met Estelle, and blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, and how do you like Estelle? And she's like, I was gonna kill her, but she's kind of neat. And he's like, why were you gonna kill her? She's like, well, it took Joshua away. She's the reason Joshua's gone. And he's like, who the hell told you that? She's like, the big boss guy, whatever his name is. And he's like, oh, you should.
And then she's also like,
and she's like, okay.
And then she's also confused by this because it's like, why is Estelle looking for Joshua if she's the reason that she won't come back? It's such kid logic, which is very fun.
It's just
and
like,
then
yeah,
Lawrence
goes,
goes,
dude, man, for everything he says, and then he's like, "Fucking, did I hear my name?" He looks at it at the exact time.
It's very funny. And also before that, Lawrence goes on about like finding your own truth. The professor has his own truth, so you gotta find your own. It's like, I feel like you're just making an excuse for the professor.
This guy stinks.
You gotta find your own truths in this world.
Believe it. I love Lawrence, but Jesus Christ, that kid. I want to punch him across the face every time he opens his mouth. I can't handle edgy characters, man. I can't do it. You can't make me do it. I can't do it. Not anymore. I can't do it. Kid's cute, though.
Trails has really bad edgy characters. Not even like the good ones. Just the ones that's, what the fuck is like the point, man?
Or it's like, the world is dark. I'm just a pimp like this. My eye shadow's running.
Yeah, no, but Renne enjoyed enjoyed the time with the bracers. So she's happy she didn't kill them. Woohoo! And then Wiseman and
Yay.
Caminella comes onto screen and it's like Wiseman's overhears Renne and is like, well, what if we made Estelle one of our friends?
And then apparently, doesn't Lawrence go like, "Oh, we talked about this, and you can't force them to join or something like that"?
Yeah, that's part of like the code of like not.
Which is wild because the whole fucking point of Joshua was he was hypnotized and
I
brainwashed. So how the
listen.
hell...
Yeah, no. This is.
You can't force people. Yeah, Joshua doesn't exist. He's not a major plot point. Don't worry about him. He's not really.
I don't think Lawrence really. I don't think Lawrence does. He know. And Wiseman's like, when she joins us, it'll be entirely of her own volition. It's like, yeah, right, buddy. It's not like you mind controlled beforehand. That's not like your whole fucking shtick.
Oh, she'll join of her own volition, all right. Her own my volition. It's like, Wiseman, no.
So
stupid.
So funny.
This goddamn game.
And then the gang, we come back to Grancel. Apparently, you can go back to like a bunch of people we met in this chapter and talk to them. I didn't do that. I just went straight back to the dog.
I literally just stopped here. This is where I stopped. So I know nothing beyond this point.
Oh, okay. So, this will be a nice little tease because there's not much here. So
Trails
the
in
gang
Sky
had
tease.
It's so funny that you did not hit the end of chapter thing, but
I was so done at this point. After the 40 minutes of exposition, I swear to God, I was like, at what point am I going to just put an auto clicker on the A button and just leave? Come back 20 minutes later when they're done. Like, sometimes it just goes on.
they go to the docks, but get surprised by Niall and Dorothy, where they want to tell Estelle something privately. And then Olivier tries to stay behind during this conversation to hear what's up because, you know, that's his thing. He likes to hear stuff. And then Cher's like, no, you don't. And then drags him back onto the ship. And then they go over, and then Dorothy shows a photo to Estelle of Joshua escaping with the Sky Pirates on their ship at the base, with it's both Joshua and the other girl. I can't believe I forgot her name.
I have no idea what her name is.
Yeah, but no, it's both him and her on the thing as they escape, and Estelle's like in shock. It's like, oh my god. And then we get the end of chapter. And the reason I asked Alex to stop it, like, to not really like consider like the end of chapter, because this beginning, like this post-credit scene is a whole full playable segment that takes like it's like almost like 40 minutes, and it's like, this has gone on long enough. We'll cover this next time. It's a whole thing.
Podcast we're done.
But it's a cool segment that's going to be coming up. I did play through it. It's neat. And also the basically the dungeon that we haven't gotten yet so far in this game, and it's a repeat of the old one, so that's fun.
Yay. I love Trails Dungeons.
Trails dungeons, if they exist at all.
Just a linear pathway. Nothing else but a couple monsters.
That's it. Woohoo.
We did it.
We did it. After all this time.
Boys.
Only took us 6 months.
6 months to formulate these responses. And surprisingly, we still managed to get 2.5 hours out of that. So that's cool. I'm really tired now.
But overall, I enjoy this chapter because it has a lot more. It had a lot more interesting things overall. But like due to like, I feel like this chapter had a lot of good ideas, but like just like some really boring execution along the way. Also, there's barely any like gameplay in this besides like the very hard shit at the end.
And puzzles, and this game is very bad at making good puzzles.
I mean, the puzzles were very easy, so like it wasn't that hard. It basically tells you the puzzles.
I immediately searched up a guide. I was like,
It wasn't that hard.
I just don't like puzzles. I don't like word puzzles. Give me like something visual, sure, but the moment it's a word puzzle, it's like
you have no patience.
Brennan, this chapter, when you know what you're doing is speedrunning it, is 4 hours. I'm a busy man. I don't have time to agonize over a puzzle for 2 hours. That's my gaming time of the day.
You're just bad at puzzles then.
Yeah, that's what I said. Anyway, get good aside. I'm excited to see where this goes. I have complained a lot, I guess, this chapter, but it was a good chapter. There wasn't too much that I actually disliked. A lot of the plot points were like, I fucking knew it.
It was fun getting back into this. And that means I can play Trails for the first time in half a year. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening, and I'm glad we're back. We'll try to be as much as we can.
We're so kind of back.
We're so kind of back.
We're so kind of back. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you.